Hi, I'm Kathy, and this is Books at Bishopstone, where I have a little chat about some of the books that have come into my place, into Bishopstone, my house, either on my bookshelves, books that I've listened to through audio kind of books, and occasionally I will talk about maybe a movie adaptation of a book. I guess all types of entertainment really, but mainly about books. And so this is my December kind of little roundup of what I have been reading, what I have, a few books I might have bought, and some audiobooks that I have listened to. Now, December being, of course, the Christmas month, I am in Australia, so it is summer here. And of course, so things are totally different. I mean, a lot of the Christmas stories that are around are about winter, about snow, about isolation. And of course, there's been a lot of discussions around at the moment about ghost stories, why ghost stories at Christmas are important, why they're a tradition, why they are part of this time of the year. So I've really enjoyed watching lots of YouTubers talking about the traditions of Christmas stories, the traditions of pre-Christmas stories, so stories of Yule and Hogmas and Krampus, and I hope I've said all of those correctly, but you'll forgive me if I've mispronounced any of those. But all of the traditions that go along with this time of the year, which I find really, really interesting as well. So even though it was December, and as for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge crafter, as to why I'm sitting here in my craft room talking to you about books, because that's one of my other two loves. I love books, literature, and I love crafting. And that's why I also will be talking about audiobooks in these videos, because I cannot craft and read a book at the same time. I know there are some people who manage to find ways to prop books up, knit, craft, and or do other kind of crafting and read at the same time, but that is not me. I cannot do that at all. So I'm really just going to, I like to listen to a book while I'm doing something else, because then I feel like I'm really making the most of my time. Otherwise, there is no way that I would manage to get through and listen and hear and learn about lots of these interesting stories otherwise. Generally speaking, though, I must admit that the majority of the books that I listen to on audio are ones that I wouldn't have a chance of getting hold of. They're a little bit older, usually Victorian or kind of early or late 1800s. No, late 1800s, early 1900s kind of stories that, and maybe even some older kind of Gothic stories that, like, and I guess I could find the books, but really, I'm in two minds. There are some books that I don't need to buy because I don't need to spend the money and have a physical book sitting on my bookshelf. I'm trying to get to a point in my life where I'm not buying books just for the sake of buying books. Having said that, I do have some books here I did buy. So audiobooks are a really good way to get around that, and also a really good way for me to be able to listen to stories that I know I would find it hard to find those books. As I said, I live in Australia. Well, I live in a little island to the south of Australia, so it also would mean most of those books I'd have to get on the internet and yada yada. Goes on and on. Anyway, moving on. I will start talking about these books, and we'll see where we get with this. So the first book that I have finished this month is one that I read for my book club. Now, I don't know what people think about book clubs, but I really, really enjoy being part of a book club because it has made me read books. I shouldn't say made me read books, but I have read books that I probably would not have usually picked for myself to read. And I think that's really good because some of them I have really enjoyed, some not so much. But it still forced me to read books that, if left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have chosen. So the book that I have finished is this one. It is called One Would Think the Deep by Clair Zorn. So if I just show you this. Now, this book, as denoted by all of these here, it was the Children's Book of the Year Award winner. It was the Prime Minister's Literary Award shortlist for 2017. It was shortlisted for the New South Wales Premier's Library Award. It was Queensland Literary Awards finalist, and it was shortlisted for the Inky Awards. So this book comes with some street cred here with all these doodads on the front. So I will read you the blurb on the back. Sam stared at the picture of the boy about to be tipped off the edge of the world, the crushing weight of water about to pummel him. He knew that moment exactly, the disbelief that what was about to happen could even be possible, the intake of breath before the flood. And I think this might be one of those books that if I had seen this on a bookshelf, I probably would have walked past it. I probably, that little blurb didn't really capture me. Look, Clair Zorn, it says here, I'm just going to read the little blurb about her in the back here. So she lives on the south coast of New South Wales with her husband, and yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say. But she does live so she lives on the coast, so she lives very much around, I would say, where this book is set. She obviously understands the setting of this book, surf culture, young people surfing. This is a story of a young boy a teenage boy who loses his mum. She dies very suddenly while he's there. He moves down the coast from Sydney. He lives in Sydney. He moves down the coast to move in with his cousins and his aunt, and surfing is a big part of his cousin's life, and so he takes up surfing. Right, that's kind of the premise of the story. The title, I'm still kind of a little left a little One Would Think the Deep. I'm not quite sure that I feel like I'm missing something with this title. I think I'm missing, like, I feel like there must be something a little bit more about this title that I'm not quite understanding. But you could go into deep water, deep thoughts, deep emotions. Anyway, I did enjoy this book. I did. It's another coming of age story. It's in my last video I was talking to you about Jennifer Trevelyan's book A Beautiful Family, which is a coming of age book. I guess I could kind of also say, what is a coming of age book? What exactly is a coming of age book? It's a book about teenagers, young teenagers, or teenagers, I guess, changing from being childhood naivety in a way to adulthood, slightly into adulthood. I don't know. I think there are a lot of books set in that time frame. It's a really important time in our lives, teenage years, kind of moving from childhood to adulthood, or childlike to adult-like, kind of. I think she does a really great thing in this book. She does capture characters really well. You do become quite invested. At least I became quite invested in the characters in this book, and I had those I liked and those I didn't like, and the slight bit of, oh, what's going to happen? Do I trust this person? Do I not trust this person? I felt that the main crux of this story is the loss of the main character's mother. I guess in a way I didn't feel that, like I felt like it happened and then life kind of moved on. Maybe this is a teenage boy kind of interpretation of throwing yourself into surfing and physical activity. It does reappear a couple of times, but I guess I kind of thought there would probably be a slightly more I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, everyone grieves in a different way and everyone comes across and sees things in a different way. Maybe there was a lot more subtle. There were things in there that, of course, were due to the grief, his grief. Did I feel that it... I don't know, maybe I felt that the death of his mother needed to be a full character of its own, in terms of it didn't seem to fully... I think the depth of that kind of loss is so huge that maybe it's really hard to find a space for it in a novel as well. And maybe it's not the same for everyone. So I think that was my only thought about it. I did like the book. I mean, it was enjoyable. I wanted to get to the end. I really enjoyed the thought of it. I enjoyed the story of it. And yeah, happy I read it. That's about all I can say. I mean, it's not as gripping as some other books that I have read. I guess I could do a whole thing about books that are coming of age books, I guess, and Australian coming of age books. But yeah, I would recommend it. I think it's quite good. I did enjoy it. The other book that I am now reading, and you can probably see I am a monogamous reader. I will only read one book at a time because I find it very hard to... I don't know how people like... Some people have got 2 and 3 books on the go at a time. I just like to immerse myself in one story at a time, really throw myself into it and finish that before I move on to the next book. So the next one is another one from my book club, and this is called Bewilderment by Richard Powers. So I'm only like 15 pages into what are we, 278 pages. So literally I've only just started this book. Don't know the author. It is he is a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. So I am he has written The Overstory, which I haven't heard either. So this is another one of those books that I'm happy that I'm going to be reading it. It's it has a little blurb on the back here. Barack Obama did say, "It changed how I thought about the earth and our place in it. It changed how I see things, and that's always for me a mark of a book worth reading." So it's the story of the main character, who's a promising young scientist who has found a way to search for life on other planets dozens of light years away. He's also the widowed father of a most unusual 9-year-old. And that's really, I mean, like, I've only just started it, so I can't really say too much about it. So far, it's okay. I'm just easing my way into it. So I think I will be sitting down and reading this in the next week and really kind of getting into it. And yeah, Richard Powers. For Christmas, I was given this book by my daughter. So I was given Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, sorry. Oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, look at this cover. Is this not the most gorgeous copy? And it's really funny because I had been in an op shop, which for those people who aren't in Australia, secondhand shop, and I had come across Little Women, and I thought about buying it actually for my daughter for Christmas, but I wasn't particularly taken with the cover of the book, the other book, so I didn't get it for her, but she bought this one for me because she said she just absolutely loved the cover as well. So, and the blurb on the back of this book: don't try to make me grow up before my time. Now, one of the reasons why she has bought me this book, I think, as well, is because my daughter and I have decided to go back and revisit a whole heap of classics and read them separately and then come together and have a talk about them. So we have both just finished reading Rebecca, and we have had a chat about that, and I have actually talked to her about maybe coming on and having a little bit of a chat about Rebecca with me. Got so much to say about Rebecca, but so does everybody. I mean, there are lots of videos out there about Rebecca, but as a classic, I think it is, and as a Gothic classic, it was a good one to start with. So, yes, looking forward to reading this and discussing it with my daughter. So, never read it. See, there are so many classics out there. I mean, there are so many books in the world. You cannot get through them all, but it is sometimes good to go back and revisit, or not revisit, but to read some of the books that that everyone else seems to have read, but I haven't. Right. Now I have 4 books here that I picked up at the secondhand shops. And that's the other thing. So as I was saying earlier, I only have limited space on my bookshelves. I am trying to kind of like, what's the word? Downsize. Trying to just keep the books I really, really enjoy instead of keeping lots of books. I mean, I have lots of books on my shelf that I haven't read yet. I've got a few books there that I don't think I'll ever read again. I read them once and then thought, okay. But why have I got them? Why have I got them if I'm not going to be rereading them? And so I'm either going to be trying to get, I mean, if I buy books brand new, I want to know that they're going to be like books that I'm going to keep and reread. Other books I'm quite happy to pick up from secondhand bookshops or op shops, and then pass them on again, because I don't need to keep all these books. I really do not. So one of the books I picked up was Miss Smilla's Feeling of Snow by Peter Hoeg. Sorry, Peter. I don't know how to say your last name. I've got a funny feeling is this a Danish name? Is he Danish? Okay, so Peter was born in 1957. He was a dancer, actor, fencer, sailor, mountaineer, and then he turned seriously to writing. Yes, and his first book was acclaimed in Denmark, so there we go. He's Danish. Oh, yes, and The History of Danish Dreams. Now, I did have that book. The History of Danish Dreams, I did have that, and actually I think I had it in Danish, because a little known fact about me, it's not a little known fact, but I lived for a year in Denmark when I was 17 and 18, and I used to once upon a time be able to read Danish. Could not read Danish now. very simple words. Can understand very little Danish, but I used to be fluent in Danish. So yes, I do remember him, and I do remember the history of Danish dreams, simply because it was about Denmark, and actually I came across that book just recently in a second-hand bookshop, and I thought, oh, I used to have that. Maybe if I went back to revisit that book, I'd have to revisit it in English, of course not in Danish, because I wouldn't be able to read it. This book I have heard about. I'm sure I've heard reviews, book reviews about this, and so as soon as I saw it in the shop, I thought, great, I'll pick this up. And, you know, secondhand, so if I don't like it, I can pass it on. Looking forward to this. Here we go. One snowy day in Copenhagen, 6-year-old Isaiah falls to his death from a city rooftop. The police pronounce it an accident, but Isaiah's neighbour, Smilla, suspects murder. Okay, got me hooked already. It's set in Denmark. Anything set in Denmark has got me hooked, because I have a bit of an attachment, I suppose, to Denmark and to Scandinavian kind of dramas and all that. So we'll see how that one goes. So far, all of these books very different, and as I said, I have a bit of an eclectic interest, and I do like reading lots of different types of books. The second one I got was by Sophie Hannah, and I love it how it says on the very top here, over 1 million copies sold. So let's hope it's good. It's called A Game for All the Family. Okay, so here it is. Justine thought she knew who she was until someone seemed to know better. I'm not reading you the whole blurb, but that was basically the blurb of this one. Sounded interesting. Look, I mean, come on. When you're in a second-hand bookshop, so many books to choose from, something has to grab out and jump at you and go, oh, that sounds interesting, I'll pick that up. I don't know, that just grabbed me. Okay, I like a bit of a mystery. I like a bit of a murder sleuthing kind of book. I mean, let's hope it lives up to the hype. What, all those other 1 million people? Let me know. What did you think? Don't give me any spoilers. Please don't give me any spoilers about any of these books. I really like to get to the end of the book by myself under my own steam without knowing really what's happening. But if you liked it or didn't like it, that would be great to know. Yes. Then the next two books, talking about things that jump out to me and interest. So yes, I love craft. If there is a book to do with craft, I mean, I like historical books about craft as well. I like, and I will do probably a video about those somewhere down the track, but I do like books that have a narrative to do with craft. So look, when I saw this one, I just had to get it. It is by Hilary Doan Sperry. Never heard of her. One presumes, I presume she might be American. I don't know. Does they say? Yes, and it is called The Haunting of Quilters Square. Got a couple of things in there that I love already. Haunting, so I love a good haunting, love a good ghost story. Quilting, crafting, we're already there. Okay. It's got movie stars, lost treasure, and hand-quilted secrets are pieced together in a scandal you'll never see coming. I mean, what's not to like about that? Everything in that first sentence on the blurb went, I'm reading this. It's got quilting in it. It's got haunting. It's got suspicion. I'm there. It might not be good, but I reckon that this is going to be a book that I'm going to keep on my shelf anyway, because sometimes it's nice to have a cozy, easy read, and that's what I'm hoping this book will be. It does say a Missouri star mystery. I'm presuming that means there are some other books in the series. I haven't even really looked to see whatever else there is in that series. The writer is a quilter. She likes steak, feta and cheesecake and the glorious smell of walking through a fabric store. I'm with her with the fabric store, definitely. Yes, I do like walking through a fabric store. Okay, and this is not her first book, so she's written some before, so if I like this one, I might have to go and check out some of her others. This book, even though I got it from the secondhand bookshop, doesn't really look at the spine. It doesn't even look like it's been read, unless there was someone who was incredibly careful. This book looks brand new. Let's hope that doesn't mean it's brand new because people didn't like it. Anyway, I'm excited about this one. And then the last one is a book that actually I had been looking at in the bookshops to buy, and I'm so happy that I actually found it. This one does look like it probably has been read. Of course, it was in the secondhand bookshop. It is The Bookshop Detective, Dead Girl Gone by Gareth Ward and Louise Ward. And what do they say here? A page-turning joy bursting with intrigue, fun and humility. I mean, come on. That's also got everything that you love, a bookshop detectives. I mean, come on, you have to love this, don't you? At last, a book that keeps me guessing until the end and in the perfect setting. How could I or anyone who loves bookshops resist? There you go. I am really looking forward to this one as well. Books and detectives. Is it wrong to say? I really just don't care if these are particularly... I'm not expecting to read these two books and be thinking about them. Oh, wow, what did that mean? How deep was that? I am actually looking for a good read, just an enjoyable read out of these two books. I like to read something gripping, and I like to read something cozy and nice. And this is what I'm hoping these two are. I think I've got a good selection in here of books. One I've read, one I'm reading, one I've been gifted, and the others I've bought. So they're probably going to add to my list. Plus the ones that I got when I was away on my trip. I will be reading those next year. I guess one of the other things I thought I would just add, I guess at the beginning, because I'm only just starting out here, for those people who don't really know me, I'll just add two things here. I'm a person who, when I read a book, when I start a book, I usually will read right to the end. Even if I'm really not enjoying it, I will get to the end because I just want to know, does it get better? I know there are a lot of people who are at a point where they will, if they don't enjoy it, they just won't read it, and that's fine. But I don't know, I feel like I just want to I just want to read the book. I just want to finish it, even if it's I'm not really enjoying it. But having said that, there is one book that I have never been able to finish. I have tried this book 3 or 4 times at different stages to read. And I read it because everyone raved about it. It was kind of like award-winning book, Oscar and Lucinda by Peter Carey. Now, I have that book, and I think I've only just recently put it out because I kind of given it away because I thought, I have tried over and over to read that book, but it never gripped me. It never, for some reason, I just could not get into it. Could not get into it at all. And yeah, I think it's one of the very few, there have been a few other books that I haven't finished, but that's one in particular that I tried a number of times to read because so many people talked about it and so many people raved about it. Would I go back and try it now? Probably not, because I've got so many other books to read. But yeah, for some reason, I just could not get into it. And what else will I share with you? I will share with you that there is one book that I read that for a very, very long time I wished I had never read. Have you ever read a book like that? You've read it and then gone, oh God, no. And I'm okay about it now. I've kind of like forgotten it. Kind of like put it way, way back. I don't want to think about it. But at that time, I was, even so much so that I didn't even want to give it to a secondhand bookshop or to an op shop, because I was thinking like, I don't want to pass this on for someone else to read. And that probably sounds really terrible. And I guess it is on a topic that is, well, it's a topic that that needs to be talked about and needs to be aired, and but also is incredibly, oh my God, I don't even know what to say, traumatic, I guess, in a way. So is A Little Life by, and I have trouble saying this author's name, is Hanya Yanaghara. So this book was put out in 2015. So we're talking like 10 years ago, and it's still in my mind as, oh my God, that book I wish I had never read. And simply because of my personality, I did read right to the end. That is a book that I probably should have kind of but then on the other side, I kind of think this is such a powerful book that I needed to read to the end, because I needed to read to the end of the story, because the story needs to be told. So much you could say about that book. Don't know. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to move on from it. But anyway, these books, needless to say, I'm going to start them and I'm going to finish them, unless there's going to be something quite amazing happen in between. Yes. Okay, I think that's probably enough for now. I'm going to try and make a separate video about, so I've got a little notes here, and I was going to talk about some of the audio books that I have listened to, but I think I might do that separately because this video is getting a bit long. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed my little chat about the books. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, all that kind of stuff, because I am really going to be interested to hear people who've read any of these books, have anything to say about any of these books, and I will talk to you later. Bye.